right, what's going on, guys? Okay, so just figured I'd just give you guys like a real update before I like hide all the stuff, right? So listen, everything's going fine. Um, I'm about to buy this water machine right now. I think I showed you guys like a couple of weeks ago, but I'm about to buy this water machine, and I'm about to buy this electric generator. Okay, so basically, I don't have to like it's solar, so basically it'll charge up. It's got like all these like batteries in it and stuff like this, so it'll just charge up. I think it's like maybe $200 worth of electric per month in each battery pack. I think that's like how I'm thinking about it. People do like the whole wattage thing. Like I don't know that, but what I do know is like okay, this is going to save $200 here or $300 here, and I may just end up just plugging it up to my computer because between that and the TV for the baby, like that's really the only thing that's really on, and the baby's not really watching TV anyway anymore because the shows suck. Okay, there is shows that you can just kind of put on to distract your baby, but it's going to basically have like an issue. The baby's going to have an issue, basically like figuring out what to do. Okay, so what are we discussing now? Okay, we're discussing what's next, how to get real power, how to understand power, why the reason I'm so obsessed with power. I talk about my story enough on this channel as well as like other stuff, and I want to leave one last like real nugget for you guys before I really start going into just getting this money, because I'm gonna get this money and just go mind my business, right? And I'm gonna go build my village and all the other shit. But you have to understand power. Okay, now what is power? People have this idea. They call it. I was on a call on Tuesday and they were calling it juice. They're like, yeah, you got the SEO juice, authority, whatever it is. Really, what it is that you know something that the other person doesn't know, right? You know something that they don't know, so they're more willing to work with you in order to get the thing, right? Or you have money, which then you can influence behavior. So the really power is just influence. Okay, now I particularly don't really care about power. What I care about is the fact that I got the power of myself to know what's happening, so that way I can make the right choice for myself. A lot of being successful is just constantly making the right choice for yourself. And here I am, I'm 37, and I've invested in properties across the country. I've made okay money in my business, and this is basically like as hype as this is going to get, unless I decide to go further, right? And I thought I was going to go even deeper, making maybe tens and then under to hundreds of millions of dollars until I had my spiritual awakening again, my reawakening. And I let go of all the stupid stuff and say, okay, I'm coming back to the Lord, and which is inside me, right? God is inside me, and we're all like little pieces of God ultimately, right? And how you choose to express that is up to you, but we all have our own journey to go through, right? And it's about trusting yourself at this point, because you can't trust anything but yourself at this point, right? If you're doing anything but trusting yourself and your instincts because God gave you those, you're fucked. Okay, now what I mean by that, whether we're talking about Israelite, whether we're talking about whatever, it don't really matter what it is. You have to understand these things have a pulling effect on you, whether you know that or not. Okay, and we're gonna get to the point of the video, but they have a pulling effect on you, and they have a pulling effect on you because it's something outside of you that you're reading. You know what I'm saying here? It's something outside of you that you're reading and contributing to, and because of this, you're not really taking it internally. Like even the stuff in the Bible, like I don't read everything in the Bible. I don't, and I don't really feel like there's a need to, if you understand just how to be a good human being. But there's some people who out there that just are not good people. Like they're not. So they need the Bible, right? In particular, even though I do follow particular things, right? And you have to understand why, right? You follow these rules, you're in God's favor. You follow these rules, you're going to be out of God's favor. But the whole thing is that, like, why would God want you to do these particular things? Why? What reasons are you doing these particular reasons or whatever, right? And unless you are already have a spiritual foundation, you're not really going to understand. God put you here as an avatar for him or it or whatever, because we don't fucking know. And if you do know, you're crazy. If you know, then you're crazy. That's it. You just made it up because we're all trying to understand it. There's nobody who says this is what it is and it's over. If somebody says that, then they're lying to you, right? Because you can't describe it. You can't describe it. We're all here. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on, and we're doing our best to figure it out. As far as we can come to it, all of us are connected to God in some way. Okay, that's obvious, right? There's going to be good people. There's going to be bad people. Okay, got it. If you do something wrong to people, something you're doing actually hurting yourself, because why would you want to hurt another person, right? This is where you get the don't treat your neighbors bad, right? The 12 commandments are pretty simple. And then you have some of the other stuff in there, the laws and commandments, which are really just don't eat crap food, right? Don't eat shellfish, don't eat pork, don't eat any of these foods that are genetically modified, because it's against the book, right? You can say it's against the law, but it's really you're going against yourself. You got to think about it. All the things in the Bible or the things about spirituality, whatever, all the negative things are things that are going against you becoming a whole person. You understand that? Okay? And if you understand that, then you'll understand that why you should not chase money, right? You're not chasing money. You're just going out. A better way to look at this as I'm going out here and I'm going out here to provide value to clients. As I'm providing value to clients, they are coming closer to their journey of alignment. But the point is that if you're just there to entertain them, you're bringing them into alignment. But are you there? Are you then leading them to the next step, which is maybe they want to start their own thing, right? It should always be about empowering people. Okay, why? Because when you empower people, they are coming here. Okay, they're coming into alignment. They're coming into who they're supposed to be, and when you're disempowering people or just keeping them distracted or wasting their time, you're taking them out of alignment and you're actually building negative karma and issues. Okay. This stuff it's not too rocket sciencey, but I still try to have a relax day, which is my Saturdays. I try to spend this relax day. Right. But you start to learn, I've learned that basically a lot of this stuff in the Bible too is also astrology, right? Which is the stuff I knew already, and I knew about the 42 laws of Ma'at, which is basically Kemetic and African spirituality, and there's other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you have to understand why the church teaches such constricted ways of thinking, and it's to control people, right? And that's okay. I get it, because people probably do something. They'll probably be crazy. They'll do anything crazy. You won't have a society and a bunch of other stuff. You do not have to actually abuse people, but there is a better way to do it. And how people are doing it right now, they're not doing it right? And this is what the point of power is leverage, right? Understanding that people don't know shit, and you're basically choosing now to exploit them and choosing to abuse them. Right. And that you don't really, that's the whole point. You don't really want power. You don't really want that, because it's pretty gay, right? It's actually gay to want to do that, right? There's some guys out there who even when dating, right? It's kind of the same thing when you're dating. If you want to do that, even calling it date, it's you're just meeting new people, right? It's these are the right words to say. I'm meeting new people right now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we hook up. Sometimes we want to enjoy a moment together. You want to enjoy an experience together. You can, but it's not really natural to do this with many people. It's unnatural for you to be banging everything that you see. You get what I'm saying here? It's just about order, right? And some people need other rules in order for them to behave in the orderly manner. Otherwise, they'll just be doing anything, and they'll be beasts. They'll be animals, right? Which is essentially the name of the game, is to remove you from yourself, so that way you become a beast, right? Now you are a beast. You're consumed with all the things that really don't matter. Money, I guess power, things that really don't really mean anything, but they mean something to you because you're a weirdo, right? Like one of those things, right? So I don't want to make fun of this guy, man, because I might run into him one day, man. Okay? I'm gonna say this. There's somebody out there where all you gotta do is look at this up, but he's obviously well known, and people are starting to wake up. People are starting to snap out of it right now, especially with all the spiritual stuff and all the government exposure and blah blah blah, right? And this character that you're seeing is deciding to not be a bro anymore. He's not a bro marketer, that's becoming ultra rich. Now he's deciding to focus on life and his relationships more because he's getting older. and he's close to my age. I think he's around like 36 or 37, and he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But on one of his videos, he's like, "You have to be so successful. You have to be so successful. You have to make it hurt. They have to see you every second." And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But that's how you know he's not home, right? And I'm not insulting anybody, okay? But I want to be sure that I'm communicating the right message for the people who listen to me, right? If you're choosing that, because the guy's obviously, if you want more money, then go do what this guy does, right? I'm telling you how to live in a life of alignment, right? You want to be happy, you want to have money, you want to have a family, you want to have anything that your heart desires that God promised to you. You want to have any of those things? Yeah, okay. Well, this is the answer, but it doesn't look like it's the answer. You get it? That's the point. It doesn't look like it, but it is. Like, this is the real thing, and then you have all this other stuff, which we're going to talk about more power in a second, okay? And he was intense too. He's like, and you got to understand why people do this too, okay? I mean, I'll show it. I'll show the video, okay? I'll show the video. Just hold on, give me a sec. Lauren, ¿cómo estás? I'm gonna show the video, okay? I'm gonna show this video, and I want y'all to just watch. But the reason I'm going to show the video is because this actually has to do with power. This actually has to do with power, and I respect what he's doing. It's just weird, right? It just gets weird after a while, though. Okay, way more money than me. I'm a nobody, obviously, right? But let's look for it real quick, okay? Oh my goodness, man. Well, you need to understand the real world, right? If you understand the real world, and the real world is based off of humans, you'll understand positioning, framing, the reason why things are the way they are. And I wouldn't actually know any of this stuff if it wasn't for my mentor, Kenrick, and understanding hypnosis, understanding white culture. I finally learned like fully about white culture through him. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like, we had a great conversation talking about hierarchy, you know, and what was it like for him to grow up in the 60s, and what was it like him growing up in the 20s. And you actually have to know a lot about history. Like, you have to know a lot about history to understand this stuff. And I'll give you just a small example before I find this video, okay? Did you know, like, fun fact here, and you have to be able to kind of live with the idea that people think they're better than you. You have to live with the idea that there's racism. You have to live with the idea that there is classism. There's the idea where people want to feel superior and all this other stuff. You have to live with that idea. You have to know these things, whether you want to accept it or not. You have to, like, if you want to be successful, you have to accept this. You have to learn that, okay, this is just how some people are. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. They've probably got issues, obviously, but the point is that you have to learn how to be like, okay, this is just how this person is, or this is how this person grew up, or this is how this person did this, right? And he was like, yeah, you know, blacks are at the bottom, we're at the bottom, and it's not real, but there was that, and then it was like gays, and then it was like da da. I was like, oh shit, okay. And he's like, yeah, man. So he's like, you know, it's just like, you know, I never thought it was real, but like, you know, you're young, you're immature, blah blah blah. But how many other people still have these belief systems, right? What are the belief systems that are installed into us as we're children, and then we take them into adulthood and think that we're looking at adults, but you're really looking at children. You're looking at people who never got healed, okay? And let's go to this, okay? Let's find it real quick. It was pretty funny, man. It was like so serious too, man. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it, man. It's not gonna pop up, of course, right? And I'm gonna tell you how to be successful too. Right now, I'm gonna tell you how to be successful after you watch this. Okay. Just be very successful and just keep it plain and simple. Yeah, of course it's not gonna pop up now. Of course it's not. It's too easy. Hold on, right here. Hold on a second.
Jimmy Cobb broke my brain with this one.
So basically, this is like a bro podcast or whatever. This guy, he's one of the bros. I think this guy harmed himself. I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but something happened to him. And you have to kind of understand these like characters when you're watching these, because this is about like success and being special. These are the entrepreneurs who are not marketers that are watching this shit, that need motivation. This is different from being just an entrepreneur. And that's different from being an entrepreneur who likes marketing, and that's different from a person who just wants to have a family business, and that's different. So you have to like know all these things. You have to like learn to accept this, and this is like one of the characters. But let's listen.
Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it.
I love that quote.
My God. People see the trophies, but not the training ground.
Everybody wants the view, but no one wants the climb. I love it.
Jimmy.
No, absolutely not. Okay. No. Okay. That is a part of it. Okay. That's a part of it, but that's not the real thing. Okay. And I'm going to give you the real thing and see if I can find that other video really quick. Okay. You have to know these things, because you're not going to be successful unless you actually understand what's really happening under the hood, and you're going to have to pay for that, obviously. Okay. Let me see here. And I want you to think about too, what kind of person needs to hear this message? What kind of person needs to hear this message? Is it a child? Is it a grown-up? Is it somebody who's just starting their business? Is there somebody who just keeps wanting to give up? Okay, here's the video. This is the video that I was like, oh, this one I realized something was going on. I was like, wait a minute. But some people like it. It's hype though, okay?
The only thing that you can do is win so big that all of them constantly compare themselves to you, and then you'll forget they exist. Success is the only revenge. It's not the best revenge. It's the only one. There's no other revenge, because everything else is petty. Everything else does show that you were thinking about these people all day long, which means they win by default. All you can do is think about your goal and winning. And when you win, that's when you become so big. Only thing that
What is happening here? Okay, now I don't want to show this stuff. Okay, I really have to hide the video. I love Ali. He's a cool dude. He's still new to the spiritual journey. Okay, all right. Now I'm not making fun of nobody, but he's still new to it. Okay, now how's this relevant? Okay, how's this relevant? Let's bring up the whiteboard. Okay. Okay, so we got a bunch of different kinds of people who want to do business, but the people who basically are kind of obsessed with it, and it's like in the culture, are like marketers. Okay, now why? They don't really know what success is. They don't know what's happening. They don't know the reason why it's happening. But there's different types of marketers. Okay, there's like family marketers, family guys. Right, I'm considered a family guy. Right, there's like the private equity guys. Okay, you got private equity guys. That's like Alex Hormozy or whatever. Then you have the regular Joe. Regular Joe. You get the guy who doesn't know nothing. So, those guys. And then you have like this. You have other versions, but you have like this other branch here, which I'm a part of, which is like this Dan Kennedy. Right, Dan Kennedy, Doberman Dan kind of like guys, right? Like these guys learn from the same guys who kind of learn, like Jay Abraham, right? Like the guys who end up like create the game, the guys who basically created direct response marketing, right? David Ogilvy, like these kind of guys, like David Ogilvy, right? Like these are like the real guys, okay? They're going to tell you what to do, right? They're going to tell you like, hey, here's like the real thing, okay, kid? These are guys who are business owners, but not really. Like they're like something else. You get it? It's like something else. Now, when you have these when you have these characters and they're living here, nobody's actually living here. Okay? And this is like the real thing that nobody talks about, because it's very unseen. It's very like nobody knows about these guys, right? So, but they train all these guys. Like they train them. All these guys, the marketers or business owners or whatever, they all come to these people to learn. Okay? Like the real guys often have money troubles, believe it or not, okay? And I'm not talking about these guys on screen, but just saying in general, the real guys, if you're talking about anybody real, they've been through a bankruptcy. They've been through divorce. They've lost all their money. They had these issues, right? These are real issues that people go through, and they have been through these issues. I can talk to, I'm not putting other people's business out there, but these guys are publicly telling you that, hey, look, I've been through a bankruptcy. I've been broke. I've been homeless. I've like tried to figure this shit out. Those are like real stories compared to the performative bro marketing stories, which is I slept in my mom's basement and I felt like a loser. Now I'm rich and I have babes. Like that's different, right? Okay. So and then all this has to do with power. Okay. Now, why? There has been deep study on human behavior at this level. Okay. But in order to spread this information, you have to basically water down the information to teach it. Okay. So they're getting watered down information most of the time. Okay. Okay. Watered down. Now, the point is that when you get this watered down information, the person still actually is unable to see properly. So there's only some people or characters that's going to be looking at marketing properly, and that's people here or people at the Tony Robbins levels, which is basically the same thing. Okay. Tony Robbins. Why? Because he understands alignment. You get it? You understand spirituality. Like Kim Rick is going to be one of those guys. He's going to be a guy that understands, like, I don't really care about that. I just care about the real business. You get it? You're going to these other characters that aren't seen. Okay. Now, how does this have to do with more power? You have to understand, if you're a person who buys businesses, right? This is my personal opinion. Okay. It's not like factual, this is just my personal opinion. If you're a person who buys businesses or you're running your business and you're going to try to be successful, you're basically unhealthy. Okay. You're an unhealthy person. There's nothing really wrong with buying a business, but there's an issue with thinking that you're a loser if you're not doing it. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how to be successful just in a second here. Okay. What happens is this person, they end up getting the watered down information, and then they think that this is the gold. So then they end up becoming very rich, but they're sacrificing everything else in their life, right? They get very rich, but then everything else kind of goes down. Their family, they lose touch with who they are, all this other stuff, because they're trying to grow a business. Growing a business is not natural. Do you understand? Like, see how it's all coming back to the same thing? It's not natural. What is natural? Having relationships. Relationships are natural. Business, not natural. You understand? Which one aligns more with nature? Relationships. Why? When you're on this planet, you meet people, and when you meet them, you have a relationship with them. Depending on how long the relationship can go, you can extend the relationship as long as possible. Right? But when you think about things in a term of a business, this is the lifetime value of the client. Yes, that's the right words in terms of business, but you're still dehumanizing the person, so you have to change the language. That's the only reason I even start to use different language, because it's like, okay, that's not the right words. You don't want to use those words because it puts you in a robotic state and puts you in an unnatural state. And if you're in an unnatural state, you're not going to be able to connect with your clients. You can't connect with your clients because you're in an unnatural state, which means that they're going to leave and go somewhere else anyway, because they don't care about them. You're just faking it because you're doing what you need to do to get the sale instead of doing what you need to do to develop the relationship. Do you understand? Okay. That does make sense so far. Okay. So the point is that when you start to look at things from this perspective, it's always going to turn you into like this other thing. Okay. It's going to turn you into this thing. And because of this, you're not really going to understand what success is. Is there something wrong with buying businesses to grow your business? No. Is there something wrong with having these opinions in things and doing it this way? No. Can you just have a lot of money and be okay? Yes. But your spirit is going to have issues because you're not feeding yourself. You're not feeding yourself. You're feeding this business, which is not real and not natural. If you have healthy relationships that bring you into alignment, okay, bring you into spiritual alignment, what happens? Your relationships go up. Your life goes up. You're having more money. It's the same thing, but you're being more careful. Now, what does alignment sound like? This is direct response. This is direct response marketing. Okay. This is direct response. Okay. Why? If you're doing broad marketing, you're trying to basically say anything to anybody and hope that somebody in here is going to answer, and then they're going to come over here and do something. Is that good marketing? No, that's not good marketing. What is good marketing? We take our time, we decide what is inside this circle, who's here, and we develop relationships with these people and understand them, and then they tell us what to develop, and after they tell us what to develop, we make it, and guess what? All the people come out because they all want it. This is real. This is natural. We're developing relationships. We're talking to people. We're figuring things out. This is unnatural. Let's use as much money as we can, and whoever buys, then they're buying, and then we'll start there. You see the difference? I hope this is starting to make sense. Okay. Now, how does this have to do with leverage? Okay. Most of the guys that you're going to see on TV, okay, actually, I'll talk about how to grow your business first. Okay. Because I'm gonna keep it like real simple. Okay. You only need around 40 clients, like, period. That's all you need is 40 clients. You can start them off with like $7,500 or $5,000 or whatever, but you need 40 sales. And after that, then it's just like $500 a month. Okay. That's pretty much all you need. Now let's bring this up. 40 times, let's just say 75. So it's $300,000. This pays for what? A car, free and clear. You stay under 30,000, done. You pay for a house. You prefer to move away or do the thing I said where you buy the modular home and then you stay there. And then after that, you can buy a regular house if you want. But remember, you're supposed to be doing things that are natural, because if things are natural, relationships start and relationships end. Okay. So you're going to be losing clients and gaining some clients sometimes. Okay. AKA relationships. So let's just say that, I don't know, $250,000 for a house. You paid off free and clear. Boom, done. Right. You have $20,000 left over. And now you have this much coming in per month times, let's see, 500 times 40. Okay. So we have 20,000 now coming in. All our bills are paid. You know, the house is paid off free and clear. So maybe it costs maybe, let's just say $20,000 for the first month of January. Done. Okay. So that means for 11 months now, you'll just take home 20 grand. Okay. If you just want to minus another 20, then you have $200,000 at the end of the year. Now you can grow the business more, but at this point you have already kind of beat the game. Okay. That's it. You just did it, right? You just did it. Now, getting the clients and learning how to get the clients and positioning yourself, that's something else. You got to learn the skill set, right? You learn how to write the copy. You learn how to do all this stuff, but that's really all you need, right? So you got your house paid off. You got your car paid off. Okay. House and car is paid off. Hopefully you did not get any debt. If you did get debt, then you can pay that off too with the money that you get. Okay. Most people only have like $30,000 or so in debt. Or the main debt that they have is house debt and car debt. Okay. So the question is this: you've made your money and now you're making 20 grand a month, basically doing the thing you like to do, working with the people you like working with and having no issues. What's the problem? So should there be any reason that you have animosity towards anybody? Should there be any reason why you're talking about others like you got to make them look at you, and you got to know that you won the game, and and obviously he's speaking to a person at the time. That's his marketing strategy, but like you have to like think like this, okay? And we're gonna get into that in a second. Excuse me. But you have to be careful listening to the wrong advice, and I understand like these are marketing campaigns, but it's not really healthy sometimes. Some of the stuff is just not healthy, right? I remember when I was learning real estate, like when I was trying to get more data on real estate, people are telling you to quit their jobs and stuff, and it's like that's not the answer. And I know that is meeting certain people where they're at, but that's not the answer, because the people who see it that are ready to do something, they have to say, hey, look, if you think it's time to quit your job, you got to do X, right? But people have not really done any research, and they're just kind of doing stuff, right? So let's just talk about it, right? You want to start your business. I'm just going to tell you how to be very successful, very simple, because most people are lying. You ready? You want to start your business? Talk to a person who's already done it. Be prepared to have what? Money. Have some savings, okay? You have savings, guess what? You can maybe hire this person. Maybe they want to work with you, maybe they don't, okay? But guess what? Now you're now making, how to make 20 grand to 30 grand a month. Congratulations. Just like that, you're done, right? You hire this person, they hold your hand while you're doing it, you just talk to them or whatever. Just like that, they're going to get you to this eventually, right? Maybe if you ask for 20 grand, maybe you only ask for 5 grand, it all depends. Now what? You want to scale higher. Guess what? You talk to another person. Hey, I want to scale my business. Okay, well, they tell you, here's the other things you're going to need. You're going to need staff. You're going to need like the marketer kind of guy or something else or whatever it is. And they're going to need a guy. So what do? You just listen to them and do what they say. And if they say, look, I only want to do this if I'm taking a part of your business. Okay, who cares? Now you're at $300,000 a month. And guess what? You're splitting it with this person. So maybe you get 150 or 175 out of the deal. This person takes X amount of dollars left. I mean, that's still a great deal. You just got a person. Now, if you want to roll them out, then you can say, hey, look, I want to buy you out and this, that, and the other. He'll say, okay, what's after this? There's only 3 ways to grow your business. Okay. You can get more leads, meaning more customers inside the door. You can increase prices. Okay, increase prices. Okay, you can increase LTV, which is basically you're making more offers, right? So you're extending the relationship. And then finally, you can basically purchase business. Okay, purchase businesses. This is the last way you can basically grow your business. You don't have to do anything. Other people have to do it, right? Other people do all the work. All you do is you come in, buy the business, and then do the same shit you're going to do, which is like right here. It's not hard. Okay. You know what the hard part is? This lying. Everybody's lying. Okay. Nobody's telling the truth. And you're not going to figure that out until you actually get there. Just like the same way where you need to have millions of dollars. You don't need to have millions of dollars. You need 40 clients. I hope this stuff is making sense here. Okay. Chosen, what's up? I hope this stuff is making sense. You need to just talk to people. But if you're thinking about it like money all the time, the idea is not going to pop in your head. Do you understand? If you're thinking of, I need to show these people who's the boss is and all this other stuff, you're not going to get there because you're not thinking of this properly. You're not thinking that, okay, maybe I just have some mental issues. Maybe I have mental issues. Maybe that's what's really bothering me. Maybe everybody's not laughing at me and I just have some problems. You understand? But he's going through these changes and you have to like see this stuff. Okay. Now let's talk about the leverage. Let's talk about understanding people, because when you're really talking with people with money, you're really talking to these robotic people. They're not like humans. Basically, they're not humans anymore. Okay. Now, when you're younger, I talked about you coming into alignment and being yourself. When you're yourself and you're trusting your energy and you're doing the right thing spiritually, you're going to be more sensitive to things that bother you. And you're going to do things that you're going to say no when something bothers you, when you're going to tell people to be quiet when they're too loud. You're going to be yourself, right? Because it's like, hey, look, you're kind of loud. Like, hey, can you just keep it down a little bit? You're not being a jerk. You're just like, hey, could you just keep it down? Because I'm like trying to do this thing real quick. And your person may say, okay, they may get an attitude, whatever. But the point is that you're whole. You get it? You're whole. You did the work on yourself. Maybe you did trauma therapy, whatever the answer is. You just trust yourself. And you know that don't matter what anybody else does, they can point at you, they can look at you, they can say whatever to you. It doesn't really matter. Because it's just going to bounce off you because you don't really care what they think about you, because it's all projection. It's not reality. What is real is what you think. What you think about yourself. That's what is real. Okay? Now, people can talk about things that they observe, and you can listen and decide that whether or not you're going to accept it. But once you accept it, now it becomes a part of you, right? And this is where you have to be careful. This is basically what? Framing. Okay? Framing. If you don't understand this, then basically you're already stuck. Okay. Right now, for example, we live in the world, right? Whether you believe the world is flat, circle, whatever. I'm just drawing it like this now. Okay. We live in the world, right? This is the world, and we're all little people on it. Okay. And everybody's believes in something. There's something out here. There's something out here. Nobody knows what's happening, but there's something out there. We all know that there's something, a higher power to a degree. We don't know what it is. We don't know what's going on. We do our best. Okay? But we do our best. Somebody can then say, okay, actually, there's nothing there. Right? Everybody's connected to this thing. Everybody knows it's there. But this person inserts doubt to people. And just like that, what do you think happens? They're not connected to the thing anymore. Why? Because now they're not listening to themselves anymore. They're listening to this guy. So what happens? They end up attaching to this guy. Why? Because they're in his frame now. You understand? You get it? You're not living for yourself. You're living for what this person told you, whether or not it's true or not. You have to be making decisions for yourself. Okay? Now, even what I'm telling you, even the stuff I'm telling you, saying you only need 40 clients, the stuff I'm talking about, I'm telling you from my perspective. You can choose whatever perspective you want to have on whether or not you want to be rich, whether or not you want to have 20 clients, whether you have 40 clients, 100 clients, you want to be one of the bros, you want to bang broads, you can do whatever you want. Because remember, we all have our own spirit journey. We all have our own thing. So I can't really actually tell you what to do. The only thing I can tell you what to do is that to pay attention to how you feel in your spirit. That's the answer. But when you're talking to a character like I showed, since they're corrupt, meaning their spirit has issues, they're always going to be listening to what somebody else told them on what success is. You get it? They're getting influenced by this other person. They don't really know themselves. You get it? And even when you are hiring people, right? When you're hiring people, this is fine. If you're starting here and they're telling you how to run your business, if you don't like what the person's telling you, you just listen to them and you say, okay, I understand. And you start or whatever, or maybe they help you get there, but you still have to decide whether or not this is for you or not. You still have to decide. You still have to decide here. Maybe this is for you or it's not for you. You have to still make the choice spiritually, because remember, the things that is going to take you out of alignment if you're not there, and your life's going to get worse. Your life's going to get worse, and you're just going to wonder why you're still working and you're tired and all this other stuff. And it's like, you're not living for yourself. You're living for something that's unnatural, which is your business, when your business is supposed to be working for you. Your business is supposed to be working for you. You're not supposed to work for your business. Okay. That's how it's supposed to be, because it's just relationships at the end of the day. Think about it. If you're always giving other people your energy and relationships, what happens? You get drained. You get tired. You don't want to do anything anymore. You're out of it. It's the same situation. So what happens to this person here, they become framed in this box and they can't no longer see outside of this box. Okay. So the person I showed is inside this box. He don't know he's inside a box, and he needs help getting outside the box, which he's starting to do, right? Spiritually, right? And that's why he's talking more about relationships and being happy and all the other stuff, because everybody doesn't want to be like this person, because this person is there too, right? There's nothing wrong with having money. There's nothing wrong with having money. There's nothing wrong with serving the marketplace. The issue comes in is when you start to think that everybody's beneath you and that you need to be better than other people and all this. Like, why do I need to do that? That has nothing to do with your business. Well, you need to be the best. And then, no, you don't. You just need to connect with your clients the most. You need to have the best relationship with your clients. If it was about who was the best, we all would be eating the best foods all the time, but we still eat shit food sometimes. Why? Because we know that, okay, this, even though it's shit food, this is my shit food. This makes sense. How does this make sense? Okay. So the point is that when you start to tell other people things that don't really know any better, now they're in the box. And these are all the people who basically took that frame. Okay. They took that idea. And this is basically how you control the world. Okay. Now let's talk about it. Now, in the game of life, remember, there's the real thing, right? Which is what? Just you living, whatever it is that you want to do, right? There's nothing wrong with earning money and buying houses and having a business. You can do whatever you want. The question is that what do you need to be happy? What do you need? What's going to be enough? When is it going to stop? When, like, cause you don't have to stop because you're serving the marketplace, but it's like, when is it going to be enough that, okay, you beat, congratulations, you got out of your little funk. You should be just doing this to help your clients now. That's it. You should just be helping them, getting what they want in life. That's it. And guess what? There's going to be a time where they don't want to do business with you anymore. And that's okay too. Let them go. Let them choose who they want to be with. There's nothing wrong with that. But the point is that why would somebody try to keep you there? Why would somebody trying to keep you that you're ready to move on and somebody trying to keep you? What does that sound like? That sounds like an abusive relationship. So they're going to gaslight you and tell you anything. But the point is to be living. But other people will tell you that it's about what? Work. That sound familiar? It's about work-life balance. Even that's fake. Life is about none of this shit. It's just about what? Living. That's it. What does that involve? You have to make it up. It's whatever. Okay? This is what real life is. Okay? This is fake. It's not real. It's not about work. It's not about, you can like to work, right? You can make your life about work if you want, but you're doing that to yourself. It's up to you. You can make it about life and balance and having a job, and you can make it about whatever you want. You can make it about candy or soda or chips or games or watching YouTube videos. It can be about whatever you want it to be. But you have to make that choice. And the only way you're going to make that choice is what? If you're doing it healthy, is what? You're in alignment with yourself, because you'll know what serves you and what doesn't. I don't really care about this, or I care about this actually, or, what do you actually want? Okay. Now, what happened? Okay, well, let's just say we have 10K people, 100K people here, 10K people here, 20 here, and 50 here. Each of these people believe different things. Each of these people have different ideas, and they're from different cultures, and they're born at different times. Here comes the person who understands that these people don't know what they're talking about, and they don't have a connection with the Most High. They don't believe in themselves, and they think everybody's a good person. What can you do? You can start corrupting them, right? You start to tell them, oh, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that. This is how it goes. You're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that. This is how it goes. You're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about that. They all were connected to this because nobody's telling anybody anything. They're just figuring it out. They're just living. But somebody told them that just living was wrong. Somebody told them that it was wrong. They know you're not doing it right. Okay, well, what's right? Oh, well, it's actually all about work. Really? Yeah, it's about work. It's about doing this and that and whatever. Okay, why? Well, because as a man, you're not supposed to have feelings. You're not supposed to. Women don't like guys with feelings. Women don't like guys with feelings. It says, when private equity is driving up paid ads in your area, what would you do? What's your opinion? Just put them out of business. Who cares? They can try to do that. It's about you keeping the clients. It's about you keeping clients. You get it? This is about relationships. It's not about all this other stuff. If you're trying to stay in business, you're doing it wrong. You don't need to stay in business. You're just supposed to make the money and leave. That's it. Make as much as you can and leave. People not thinking about that. I don't know if this is making sense or not. People are not thinking about that. That's the problem. They have unlimited. Of course they do. Of course. Yes, they all do. Yeah. Who cares? Doesn't matter if they got unlimited budget or not. They still don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. You're supposed to know what you're doing. You understand? You're supposed to be doing the real thing. What's the real thing? Connecting with your clients locally. That's it. You got about 20 to 40 clients. That's all you need. Why do you need everybody? Why do you need to compete with them? You don't. You just need to retain them. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Hope this stuff makes sense, because like this is like a real issue that people are going through, and it's because they have the wrong, they don't understand. People are not understanding that you're just letting other people control you. I'm a plumber, business on demand business. That's a problem. Ads are the key, in my opinion. Yeah, because you don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. It's about relationships. It's about keeping retainers. If you're not keeping a retainer, then you're just wasting your time. Ads are just a way to start the relationship. They're not a way to keep the point of the whole thing is to continue the relationship for as long as possible. You need to find a way to do that. I hope that makes sense. Partner with the county, partner with apartment complexes, partner with anybody. Doesn't matter what that business is doing. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying here? They don't know what they're doing. That's why they have an unlimited budget, because they don't know what they're doing. If they knew what they were doing, they'd be doing it better. Because why would you want to just pay just because? You're trying. The only way they can win the game is to put you out of business. Think about that. That's the only way they can win. So all you have to do is be like, okay, well, how do I win? I just actually have to have a better business than them. I have a better relationships, and when you talk about it, like, yeah, like these guys, they're like scammers. That's it. You know they're scammers. So just, oh yeah, these guys, they don't really know what they're doing. They just run ads all day. They don't actually know what they're doing. They're not focusing on their clients. They're not focusing on their relationships. They're not focusing on this other stuff. They're not. They don't know what they're doing because they're too robotic, which I'll talk about in a second. And that's like the whole point, because they're not connected emotionally. Okay. So what's happening is because this person is like, this is for an example. Okay. If you're just worried about just getting what you need out of your business, right? Get your house, get your car paid off. And after that, then what else do you need? You got no debt. Okay. And if you got kids, maybe you want to save up some money for them to go to college, but that's about it. Okay. It's over. It's over. That's the first thing. You need to know that is over. That's the first thing. The next thing is that maybe you have a retainer of people. Maybe you charge $200 and you work whatever, or maybe it's $200 for the whole year, or $500 for the whole year just to keep me on a retainer, right? So if there's 500 people, then you times that by $300. You just made $150 for the whole year. Do you need more than that? That's the question. Do you need more than that? If you need more than that, you have to worry about what? Private equity. You have to worry about these things. If you need more than that, you're going to have to be you're trying to do what? You're trying to compete with a robot, right? Businesses is about being robotic. When it's about relationships, people that they have a custom relationship with you, that now they can shop with you independently, and they don't have to worry about waiting in line or waiting for anything, and it's only going to be $300. Do you think private equity can compete with that? No. Because why? They need money. They need money because they borrowed for debt. Right? But you have to know this stuff. If you don't know this, then you're just wasting your time. You're going to be wasting time. Now, this is what happens when you get worried, though. I hope that made sense. I know I'm like derailing a little bit, but I hope that made sense. Okay, cost to acquire new customers is 300 to 5. Oh, great! It's even better. It's even better. You just charge the same amount. Come on, man. Perfect. You should have a whole list of clients right now. See if they want to be on a membership. But the point I'm trying to say here is this: when you are here and here, your brain is not really working properly. Okay, why is your brain not working properly? Because you basically are out of alignment. You're not being yourself. And because you're not being yourself, you can't tap into the unknown, which is here, all the ideas and creativity. Okay? The reason I'm saying this is because this is people that they're not going to really understand what they're doing. It don't matter what they tell you. They don't understand on an emotional level what's happening. Okay? They don't understand on an emotional level. Because they don't understand on an emotional level, they're not going to be successful. Because they're not going to, how do I say this? They're never going to be really successful, which is not about money. They're never going to achieve personal alignment. That is what success is. How do you put this person out of business? You can just say anything to them. Why? And they'll believe it. Why? Because they're logical. They're going to feel like, okay, I don't know something. This guy knows something. I don't know. They can't think for themselves. So they have to read a book. I don't know if this makes sense or not. So what happens now that you know that they're like this? You insert a character or two into their life. You insert 3 characters and tell them, if you're this person, you don't really know what's going on and you're this, that, and the other. What happens now? They start being tricked. And you took their business. Not saying this is the right way to do it or the wrong way, but this happens all the time. This happens all the time. When you're looking at the world, when we're talking about living, where's it at? When we're talking about living here, the real world is just about living. You just live your life. Yeah, you buy your stuff, you buy your business. But when you're trying to do the work-life balance thing, or you're trying to have a business, now you're up to manipulation. Why? Because you don't really know what the fuck you're doing. Okay? You don't know what's happening anymore because you don't trust yourself. You trust what other people are telling you. There is a time where you need to learn from others, but it has to be making sense for you. If it's not making sense for you, you can't do it because it doesn't make sense for your feelings. Okay? So you're up for manipulation now. So what happens? Who's going to put this in place? So if this is about what it is and everybody's here minding their business and connecting to God and all the other stuff, and then you got somebody who wants to conquer everybody, so they tell you that's not real. So then what do? You're up now to manipulation, and now you start to surround everybody with fake information, fake schools, fake knowledge, fake experts. Now you got fake experts around. Okay, not saying that what's name's not, if he's like a real person, obviously, but that's not the point. He's unhealed. Okay, and what happens is that you're basically so gaslit you don't know what's going on when the answer is already inside you, but you're only going to get this answer if you believe in yourself. So people, they're not living, and this is what power is. Power is basically manipulating people who don't know themselves. I hope this makes sense. That's what power is. This is what power is. Power is basically abusing people that don't know what the fuck is going on. Do you really want to be that kind of person? Do you really want to be an evil person like that? Hurting people, hurting their destiny. I don't know if this makes sense. I don't know if this makes sense or not. Do you really want to be this person? Or do you just want to live your life and be happy? That's up to you. That's your choice. That's something you got to decide what you're going to do. If that makes sense, okay? Wow, all this can be done because a person is out of alignment. Yes, you're getting it. You understand? Because you're not in alignment, you now have a warped sense of reality, and now you're controlled by this other person. That's why I keep talking about abuse and all this other stuff, because now it's whatever now. Why? Because you don't trust yourself anymore. You don't trust yourself. You don't know where you want to go. You don't know what's going on. And now guess what? Well, I bet you thought about this, didn't you? Yeah, I did. And you think people are being genuine. They're not. They're not being genuine. They're lying. They're lying to you. Literally, they're just abusing you because they like seeing you in pain and stupid. Why? So it can serve them. And there's never nothing to worry about. Everything is fine. Everything's always been fine. But the whole game is to get you to think it's not fine. Because when you're not fine, okay, I guess I better let the government take care of me because I'm gay. Or because of whatever now. And I'll let the police protect me because I'm a fruit cup. I won't have my own firearms. Oh, no. Like, think about how much shit has happened over the years. Like, this shit is not hard. You want to be successful? Talk to somebody who is. You want to put somebody out of business? Talk to somebody who's done it before. They'll tell you what to do. But you have to also understand alignment. And why do you want to do this thing? Is it going to serve you that much? Is it going to make sense to you? Why do you want a business so bad? What are you going to do with the money? You understand? All somebody has to do is hold a mirror up to you and they can lead you right off a cliff if you... People not thinking, man. And I try to make these videos to help people, man. I just can't keep doing it though. I can't, because it's like messing me up, obviously, right? Because I have to keep stepping back into the reality of the person that's watching. It's difficult. When you actually know what's going on, it's difficult to step into this reality and say, here's like what's happening, and here's why it's happening, and here's the reason. Like, it's very hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. Somebody told you that work-life balance was real. And then you have business owners telling you, oh, no, it's all about work. You must work all day. They're lying. Everybody's lying. To them, it's like that. Don't have to be that way for you. You can just make your money at the beginning of the year and then do nothing all year if you want to. But why would somebody tell you that? That's because they're in that reality. You have to know yourself at all costs or it's over. You understand? This is how people poison people. This is how people get abused. This is how people get raped. This is how people get manipulated and freaked out and all this other stuff. Oh, just try it. You never know if you might like it. Like, no, I think I'm good. Come on, just a little taste. Come on. Okay, fine. You eat it, now you have a heart attack. It's like, you understand? There's the real world where you just mind your business, you're eating and you just whatever. And then there's somebody else's frame that you're under. You're under somebody else's thing on how they're telling you how to live. Okay. I appreciate the videos, by the way. I've been watching a few. It's a different perspective. I thought the only one who thought some of these same things. Oh, okay. I'm glad you appreciate this stuff, man. Cause I try to leave it out there while I can before I have a lot of other videos that I hid. And cause I try not to like talk about people on this channel either, because it's like, I know sometimes people need the boost in order to get through what they're going through. Okay. Even me, like when I was younger, I was all about, you got to be successful. You got to do this. You got to do that. And then I realized, I'm like, this shit is bullshit, man. These guys are just fake. They're fake. Not this person, but just people. They have legitimate issues. They're trying to make a shit ton of money. I'm trying to help people. That's it. You're just supposed to help people in your business. That's all you're supposed to do. Hey, you need help? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be there in like 30 minutes. Okay. That's it. But if you don't, no. You can increase your conversions by having a magic script. What's the magic script? I mean, what the fuck is that? It's the thing that only works for the real guys. Like, oh, okay, what the fuck? Okay, I want to be a real guy. What the fuck is going on? Okay, how much is it? 80,000. Okay, here you go. Okay, now what? Okay, you're gonna pick up the phone. Okay, I did it. And you're gonna say hello. Okay, I did that. And you're gonna ask them, when are they ready to book an appointment? Like, what? You mean get to know them and figure out what's happening and be the expert? No. These are magic words. I think we got somebody who figured the shit out, right? Which is nothing. There's some people who do need help though. Okay, and that's the point. Once you're out of alignment, you need magic words. You need somebody to tell you what to do because you're gone. It's over. You get it. You're lost in the dark. It's over. You don't know what to think anymore. You get it? You don't know what to think. So it's over. You're gone. You're disconnected from God. It's over. You don't even know it. That's like the worst part. You don't even know. You don't even know what's going on. You wonder why. It's like, man, I just don't have money. Like something don't seem right. Nah. They said it's me. I just need to work harder. Yeah, I just need to work harder. You're obviously being lied to. You were correct the first time. Something's not right. Yes, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. The question is, what's not right? Now you got to figure that part out. Something don't seem right what this person said. Yeah, something is not right with it because it doesn't make any sense. Well, this is how you have to be. You have to be ruthless. You have to be ruthless, man. You got to be ruthless when you're a business owner. What do you mean by that? Well, you got to be like willing to take every call and be serious. What are you talking about? We're just there to help the person and develop a relationship with them. What are you talking about? Oh, well, people just are unhappy that you're successful and they're not. Maybe they just don't want to be successful. Maybe they know it's bullshit too. Everybody doesn't want to have just a lot of money just because they don't want to. There's no reason for them to. What reason do you need all the money? You don't. You don't need it. You're just doing it because you don't know any better. Or because you want to. Hopefully you're doing it because you want to. But it should be to help more people. That's why you scale your business, is to help more people. We want more clients in here so we can serve them. We want to help more people. Well, we want to make more profits. Yeah. Like, why? What? Why? Why do you want to make more profits? You'll become profitable by helping more people. You just help the person and they'll give you their money willingly. They're happy to give it to you. But how can we take the money and not do anything? Like, are you that lost? You're that lost? You got to trick people? You got to trick them? Think about that. You think, I can trick them into paying more. And no, you don't need to trick anybody. You just tell them, hey, look, here's how much I cost. I know this is more than the most people, but I'm like really the best in the neighborhood. Okay. And I don't really make mistakes, and I don't really have these other issues. If you work with these other guys, you're going to have a mistake. Is that lying, or is that just telling the truth? You set your frame, because why? You're in alignment. When you know yourself, you set the tone. Nobody can't tell you what's going on. Nobody can't tell you. Somebody gonna tell you, yeah, you're not doing your business right. I mean, what is right? Am I getting money? Yeah, okay, I'm fine. Like, unless I got a problem, there ain't no problem. I remember this one guy, he kept calling. I'm like, dude, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want, man? You keep calling me. Well, I'm waiting for you to pick up. Okay, what do you want? Oh, well, I think you need more leads. So actually, I don't need more leads. I have enough clients and I think I'm okay. Thanks. No, you want some more, don't you? No, I don't. Yes, you do. You need them. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You need more clients. You do need them. Yes, you do. You get it? Like, they want you to need clients. I don't need any more. I don't need any more work. I feel just fine about myself, my self-esteem. I don't need any more work. No, you do need it. I'm like, does this even work? I'm like, okay, you know what? Sure. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like, why not? Okay, good. I need your credit card and this, that, and the other. I was like, I'm just fucking with you, right? I said, I don't need help. Why would I just change my mind? Well, why would you just say that and then you don't mean it? Because you're over here playing games. What do you want? You need more leads, though. I was like, does this really work? Like, does this work? Sometimes it works, not all the time. Sometimes. I said, why don't you try just talking to people who actually need leads? Like, what the fuck? No, you must convert everybody all the time. You don't help the people who need help. You trick the people that don't need help into needing help. Record profits. Somebody believe this, man. Somebody's believing this. Do you get it? You understand? You must close every deal. No, you don't have to. Does it make sense for you to close this person? Do you need the money? There's a lot of things to take into consideration here. Okay? But this is the point. Unless you have leverage and you understand what's really unless you know the truth, you really don't have you don't have nothing, because these people are going to come abuse you. You get it? That's the point. That's the main point of the video. The main point of the video is that if you're out of alignment and you don't have leverage, meaning you know yourself and exactly what you want and exactly where you're trying to go, somebody can have a better perspective that you may want to adopt. But that's your choice. And you have to be conscious of making this choice and that how it's going to affect you in the long term. So you got to say, okay, well, I'm thinking about this, but tell me a little bit more about this. Tell me about how your life is and what's happening. And, oh, it's so good. I need you to be for real. I need you to tell me what this is, because I'm looking for something and I don't really know what I'm looking for. I don't really know what I'm looking at. When's a conversation like that happen? I don't really know what I'm looking at in my business. Do you think you could help out? Yeah, I got you, man. Like, here's kind of what you want to look at. Here's what's going on. And what are you doing by helping them know that they can trust you? You're bringing them into alignment to say, man, okay, I can use you as an agent of me. That's the whole point of being a business owner. You're an agent of the person's desires to bring them into alignment. It's all about alignment. That's it. But if you're logical, they're outspending me. It's about getting money for ads. Money. You understand? This is about people. It don't matter if you got a door knock. It don't matter. What matters is you're talking to the right person at the right time who wants this package, or they have the desire in them to have somebody to trust. They don't trust typical companies. Hey, if you don't trust these big fucking stupid companies that just fuck up everything and mess up the food and go to overcharge you, if you don't want to do that, you can pay me $500 a year. And you have me on a retainer. I'll come out, see what's going on. If there's something that needs repairs, you got to pay for the other stuff. But I can come, check it out, this, that, and the other. $200-$300 for 300 people in the neighborhood. It's a whole neighborhood dominance that you have now. You have trust. You have trust. You don't need to be this ultra successful person. Does that make sense? You must be successful. You must make them hurt. Yes, they'll know better. They'll know. They wish they had money. That's the real reason. They're all jealous. More like, why do you got so much, bro? Like, what the fuck are you doing? You're a weirdo? Yes, they're weirdos. You understand? They're so far out of alignment. I must get more businesses. Like, why? Don't you have enough? No. I don't care about the clients. I care about my business. What? You don't care about the people actually paying you to keep you in business. You care about the business like it's a baby or something. Like, that's what people do. Oh, that's your business baby. It's like, okay, right? But you have to accept these things too. You know, you have to learn to accept these things about people because that's where they are at mentally and spiritually. Hope this makes sense. Okay. Now, let's do the final part. Okay. Now, if you want leverage, take a guess what you're going to want to have. Okay. You're going to want to have, take a guess, relationships. Duh, of course. Right? Now, why? Why are you going to want relationships? Why? The reason why is because, remember, when you're a robot, you're not looking at these things like relationships. You're looking at them like customers. And when they're customers, they're not human. They're just what? Money. And it's something to exploit. Okay? Now, if you know this, if you have the relationship, you have all the leverage. So what do you position yourself as? The expert in the area, the expert in the business, the expert in X, Y, or Z, and you're here to have a real relationship with them and tell them what's happening, why it's happening, and reasons why it's happening. These other people look at them like just something to use. To them, this is a booty call. Okay, this is a booty call, and they're the F boys. They're trying to keep smashing. Here, you're getting a long-term relationship, which is what people really want. They want to be taken care of. People want to know that they're trusted. You know, that they can trust you. Okay, and it's like late. The point I'm trying to say here is this: once you have these relationships, you now can move everybody else. Why? Because that's where these freaks go, because they don't have any emotions. They're trying to keep growing their business because that's all they can do. They don't have a life. They don't have life. They're not living. This is living to them. Yeah, this is living to them. What are the numbers? What is this? What's that? I don't care about people. I just care about this. When you're living, you're doing everything else. You have a family. You're traveling. You're doing whatever. Maybe you work 4 days a week. Maybe you work less. If you only have 300 clients or 300 to 500 clients and you're making $150K in your neighborhood, right? Maybe it's a sign up for initial $500 to get this service started. Now you've made $300,000. You pay off your house for the first year. What else is left? Nothing. It's over. Now you're out there, you spend time with your family, you're going to the store, you're eating. You can pay somebody to go out there if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But this person is going to want to keep gobbling up the business because that's all they got. They're not living. They're missing the real thing, which is this, living. Okay? And this is why you have to be ready. So what happens when the United States of America or whatever. What happens when they start going broke? You leave and you go to another country, right? You go to South America, or you go to North America, or what is it, Canada, or you go to China. Why do you have to stay here? Why do you have to stay here, China? Why do you have to stay here? You don't, because you're focused on what? Living and running your business. You're focused on this, and you have the people. You get it? Now, if you want to influence the government or the community, hey, look, I got about like 10K people here, and they all believe in X. So you better fix the shit the fuck up, because you want to be a good person. You want to be a good human being, because that's going to keep you in alignment to detect what's wrong and have ideas and have strategies. These people, they get into power by brute forcing their way in. You can't brute force your way in if you have all the power here and the leverage of people. Hey, look, if you don't do this thing, then, you know, like, for example, let's just say that bills went up, right? Bills went up in the neighborhood. I got 10,000 people here that's ready to riot. If you don't take care of this, then, you know, they're gonna know what to do. You know, they didn't really look that nice. Hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Just be careful what you're learning, why you're learning it, and be careful. Okay. Just you gotta be careful learning the wrong thing here. If you learn the wrong thing, it's over. You're just not gonna, like, you'll have money, but you just won't be living. You're already dead. You don't even know you're dead. You're spiritually dead. That makes sense. Nothing wrong. You can make as much money as you want. That's not the issue. The issue is, are you doing it according to your spirit? Okay. Hope this makes sense. Alex, if you need help, you can just fill out a form below or something like this. But I'm probably gonna end up hiding this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Dion, hey, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed this too, man. I hope you guys appreciate this stuff, because I'm gonna stop soon, and I just got stuff to do, and, you know, bills and stuff like this, right? So I just can't really be doing this the way I'm doing it, right, for free. Okay. But you got to just pay attention to this stuff. You got to be paying attention, man, or it's over. I keep saying this stuff. You got to be in alignment. Now's the time more than ever, because there's so much fake news. There's fake politics. There's fake characters out there. There's fake history. Everything's fake. And if you don't trust yourself and say, does this empower me? Does this make me stronger? Or does this make me weaker? Right? Like one of the things that people are talking about right now is they're talking about how blacks lost the vote in Alabama or some shit like this, and now they're going back to Jim Crow. I was asking my lady last night, I'm like, do you even care about this shit? She was like, no. I was like, if people don't want to sit next to you, just don't sit next to them. That's not, you get it, but that's the point. It's the same kind of like strategy, like private equity and all this other. It's about brute forcing their way in. Once you have the relationships, nobody can't do shit to you. That's the point of leverage. That's the point. Nobody can't do shit to you once you got people. Go get people. If you're in alignment, you're automatically a magnet for everybody else to come into alignment with you. Hope that makes sense, man. I plan to connect with you soon on some next stages. Okay, yeah, man. Reach out, man. Reach out. Yeah, I think the club is about to be back on soon, because I've just been like really busy. But yeah, show up, because I got what's the name? I'm about to start working with Chosen too. Chosen and Robin. So you can just show up. We can all powwow. You can get your own one-on-one too. But remember, this whole thing is about this, and you got to get here. And that's something for you to decide what that is. But you have to be able to take the steps to start the relationship, so that way you can get there. That's the trick. You know, some people are going to watch this stuff and think that this is the answer. This is not the answer. The answer is actually the relationships. That's the answer, because every relationship you have with people, you're impacting them and you're healing yourself. You just don't know it sometimes. And people just don't know. You have to learn from the right people. If you're learning from the wrong people, you're going to get the wrong frame. You get the wrong frame. Now, you're going to always feel like a failure. How often do you think Alex felt like a failure? His entire life, probably. So he's more likely to do what? Be on drugs. He's more likely to be doing promiscuous behavior. He may say that he's not, but he's more likely to do these things because he's not in alignment. That's what happens to you. And then his lady is going to be doing the same things. But I think she talks about that, whatever, right? She kind of talks about that, right? So it's like she talked about how she used to use and stuff like this, right? So, and like these are the kind of things that you don't really think about. You just think that, oh, I was just depressed, and here it was like, no, you're out of alignment. You're out of alignment. You're in an abusive environment. You're in an abusive environment at work. Like that's why her thing is like, I'm gonna show you how to run a business and not be abusive. Boomers are abusive as fuck. You got to know that. If you don't understand that, you're gonna think something's wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You need to just understand what's happening with yourself. And as you come closer and closer into alignment, you'll realize that these are the signals you need to stay down your path that God has chosen for you. That's it. That's it. But when you're disconnected that much and it's all about money and it's all about these other things and it's all about that stuff, take a guess what happens. Take a guess. You know you're not alive anymore. You're a zombie. You're a zombie now. You're a zombie for your business. You're a zombie for the woman. You're a zombie for lust. You're a zombie for lots of sex. You're a zombie for money. You're a zombie. You're just a zombie. You're not human anymore. So then you start to do things and, well, this is what rich people do. Rich people eat kids. So I guess I'll start eating a kid today. You're like, this shit will just make sense to you. And it's like, it's not. It's like, no, that doesn't make any sense, bro. Stop. What the fuck are you doing? Well, I mean, this is what all the wealthy people do. They have the most finest cuisine. Like, what the fuck are you eating fucking a kid, bro? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, this is what rich people do. Something's wrong with you, in fact. It's like, no, nothing's wrong with me. You're a freak. That's what's wrong. You're a freak, and nobody told you you're a freak because they're scared of you, because they don't know what the fuck is going on. If you're in alignment, you know when you're looking at a freak. You know when you're looking at people out of alignment. When you know it. You think they can't see that you don't know? That's how they magically know how to show up. You got to know what's going on, man. I'm telling you, man. Be careful before next thing you know, you're eating something that's going to hurt you, or you're drinking something that's going to hurt you, or you're watching something that's going to hurt you, or you're just hurting yourself over and over and you don't know what's going on. You can't figure it out. This is what it is. You have to stop because this person is going against your essence, your nature, right? That's the point. Okay. All right, guys. See you.